Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and TikTok account called Teresa Jackson Artist and YouTube Educator. I hope everyone is well. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to let you know for your information that this video is my own words and thoughts. And this goes for every video that I make. Today's video is about prediabetes. What is prediabetes? Prediabetes is when your blood sugar is higher than usual, but not high enough for you to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It also means that you are at high risk of developing type 2 diabetes. You are unlikely to be experiencing any symptoms with prediabetes. It can also be known as borderline diabetes. This means that your blood sugar levels are higher than normal, and this will be detected by blood tests. There are several different types of medical terminology for higher than normal blood sugar levels. This can include impaired fasting glucose, IFG, impaired glucose tolerance, IGT, impaired glucose regulation, IGR, non-diabetic hyperglycemia. The tests are several fasting and non-fasting that will help your healthcare team understand the level of risk that you are at from developing type 2 diabetes. What are the pre-diabetes symptoms? Pre-diabetes doesn't have any symptoms. If you start to have any of the symptoms of type 2 diabetes, it means you have probably already developed it. So it's important to know the risk factors and what support is available to help you prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. A lot of people don't get any symptoms when it comes to type 2 diabetes, or don't notice them. But you may notice going to the toilet more often, especially at night, feeling more tired, because your body can't get enough glucose into your cells for energy, losing weight without trying, genital itching or thrush, cuts and wounds taking longer to heal, blurred vision, feeling extremely thirsty. Causes of pre-diabetes. At the moment, 13.6 million people are at increased risk of type 2 diabetes in the UK. If you've been told you have pre-diabetes, this is a warning sign that you are at high risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The good news is you don't have it yet, and with the right support up to 50% of cases of type 2 diabetes can be prevented or delayed. Type 2 diabetes happens because insulin can't work properly, so your blood sugar levels keep rising. This means more insulin is released. For some people with type 2 diabetes, this can eventually tire the pancreas out, meaning their body makes less and less insulin. This can lead to even higher blood sugar levels. Type 2 diabetes can come on slowly, usually over the age of 40. The signs may not be obvious, or there may be no signs at all. Therefore it might be up to 10 years before you find out you have it. That's why it's very important to know the risk factors. You're more at risk if you're white and over 40, or over 25 if you're African Caribbean, Black African, or South Asian. You're 2 to 6 times more likely to get type 2 diabetes if you have a parent, brother, sister or child with diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is 2 to 4 times more likely in people of South Asian descent and African Caribbean or Black African descent. You're more at risk if you've ever had high blood pressure. You're more at risk of type 2 diabetes if you're carrying extra weight, especially if this weight is around your middle. You are more at risk of developing type 2 diabetes if some or all of the risk factors apply to you. Our Know Your Risk online tool only takes a couple of minutes to complete. If your results show that you are at high or very high risk, you will need to ask your GP for a blood test. You could be eligible for a place on the Healthier You NHS Diabetes Prevention Programme in England. You may also be eligible for a free NHS health check which will check for health conditions including type 2 diabetes. Preventing type 2 diabetes. By making changes to diet, increasing physical activity and losing weight, about half of type 2 diabetes cases can be prevented or delayed in some people. Being at risk doesn't mean you will definitely develop type 2 diabetes. Now is a great time to start making healthy changes to your lifestyle to reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. Your healthcare team can support you in making these changes. You can also call our helpline if you have any worries about being at risk of type 2 diabetes or for help with what to do next. And you could join our online forum to share your experiences with others who are at risk or have type 2 diabetes. Here are some steps you can take to reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes in the future. Manage your weight. If you are living with overweight or obesity and are at high risk of type 2 diabetes, losing just 5% of your body weight can significantly reduce your risk. There are lots of ways you can lose weight and it's about finding what works best for you. Making healthier food choices and being more active are both positive ways to start making these changes. If you need help with managing your weight, a dietitian can help you. Your GP surgery may also be able to help you find weight management services in your local area. At a healthy and balanced diet, there's no one special diet for all people at high risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Everyone is individual, so there isn't a one-size-fits-all way of eating for everyone. But the food and drink we have in our overall diet is linked to our risk of developing type 2 diabetes. For example, if your overall diet is made up of food and drinks that are in high fat, have a high GI, short for glycemic index, and low fiber content, this is linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. But the good news is that by changing some of your food and drink choices, you can reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. But what is a healthy and balanced diet anyway? All of these ways of eating have been linked with a decreased risk of type 2 diabetes. Mediterranean diet. Check out our handy Mediterranean meal plans. Dietary approaches to stop hypertension, diet. Vegetarian and vegan diets. The North